is the plaintiff, Peter Gordon. He says he bought what he was told was a Gibson Les Paul electric guitar from the defendant, and as it turns out, it was a Chinese fake. When he brought it back to the defendant's store, the guy told him there were no returns. Oh, he's not about to go down without a fight, and is suing here and now for the return of his hard-earned $1,400. This is the defendant, Freddie Giacomi. He says he set the price for the guitar based on what similar guitars were selling for on the internet. He also told the guy he was no expert on guitars, and there were no returns and no guarantees. He's accused of strumming a guy along.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff thought he bought a Gibson Les Paul guitar from the defendant, but it turned out to be a knockoff. The defendant says he's not an expert, so tough. It's the case of fretting over the guitar.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Peter Gordon.
Yes.
You are suing, what kind of business do you run?
Pawn shop.
Pawn shop. You're suing the pawn shop. You've asked us not to mention your business by name, and we respect that. Represented here by Freddie Giacomi?
Yes.
Okay, you're an employee there. The owner's given you power of authority?
Yes.
Okay. And who is this gentleman next to you?
Louis, I work with him.
Louis, okay. You're suing the pawn shop for $1,400, the amount that you paid for what you thought was a Gibson Les Paul guitar and turned out not to be.
Right.
All right, what happened?
Okay, I went in the pawn shop and I said to this guy.
Why were you in the pawn shop to begin with?
Pawn shops have cool stuff sometimes.
Okay, so had you been to that pawn shop before?
No, I've never been in there. So I went in and I said to this gentleman, do you have any other guitars besides the few that they had hanging there? He goes, you mean good guitar? I said, yeah, good guitar. So he pulls his guitar out from I don't know where, and he shows it to me. I go, well, let me see it. He slides it. The whole pawn shop is glass.
Let me see it.
Okay. It's glass.
Okay.
Okay, it says Gibson Les Paul guitar, serial number, made in USA.
Okay.
Okay, so I played it and I said to him, I said, what is it? Where's it? What year is it? What you know? I thought it was real Gibson. He goes, all he knew is it was a 90s Gibson. Okay, so I asked him how much he wanted for it, and I wrote down the serial number.
How much did he want for it?
He wanted $1,500 for it.
Okay.
So I wrote down the serial number, left, and I went, and then I went home and I checked out serial numbers. Called a few places around the country and gave them the serial number of the guitar, and they said that was a real serial number for a real 90s Gibson guitar, a reissue of a 56 Les Paul.
Okay.
So I went back.
Do things like this come with accompanying paperwork normally?
You mean if you buy it from a music store?
Yeah.
Just
or if you buy it from a private party as opposed to a pawn shop?
No.
Okay.
No
offense?
No.
All right, because you came upon it how? Somebody fell on hard times and just said here, and you paid how much for it?
Well, we pay $200 for that, but somebody pawned
it for $200 and never came back for it?
Never come back.
Okay, go on.
So that serial number is from a real Gibson guitar. A 90s reissue of a 56. So I go back and I offer him $1,400. I didn't know about that. They make Chinese clones. So I bought it. He says, okay, I bought the guitar. And 2 days later, I have a friend that owns a music store, and I took it to him. I said, look at this thing. It's beautiful. He goes, sit down. He turned it upside down. He goes, let's look at it. Took a screwdriver, took the back off, okay, and said, calm down. I don't want you to get excited. He goes, but it's not a real Gibson Les Paul. He says it's a Chinese clone.
Based on what?
On the fact that on the real Gibson, there's a metal board that the control pods are put on. Okay, and this does not have that. Also,
do you have something from this?
From Gibson?
Yeah, well, either from Gibson or from your friend who owns a music store.
No, but I do have something from Gibson.
Okay, but Gibson didn't look at the guitar. Your friend is the one who took it apart, saw it,
right,
and deduced from the evidence he saw a certain professional opinion. You didn't bring that?
I didn't bring him, no.
Well, did you bring it? Did you bring his opinion on a piece of paper,
No.
an affidavit from him?
No.
Okay.
No.
Now, Mr. Giacome, do you remember dealing with him individually?
Yeah.
Okay. He's mad because he says that you sold him something as a real Gibson guitar, and it isn't.
Well, we sold the guitar. We no expert in the guitar.
We're not experts in guitars.
No, but we try to check the things in the internet as similar. That guitar, I believe, is real.
You believe it's real?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you were to buy a real one from a music store, how much would you pay for it?
Probably a couple grand.
Okay. So when he comes and asks about it, is it true that you had to go to a back room to get it? Do you have like the good guitars elsewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, how come? Because you don't want somebody, some new employee to all of a sudden
Yeah.
accidentally sell the guitar?
But he's the expert in guitar, but he go for 3 times.
He went to your pawn shop 3 times?
For 3 times.
All right, whether it's 2 times or 3 times.
3 times. 3
Okay.
times.
Did you do that research in front of him with him there to figure out what to quote him? Go ahead, Luz.
Okay, the third time that he went to buy the guitar, he asked us to weigh the guitar in front of him. So we weighed the guitar, and the guitar weighed 8 pounds. So he talked to somebody on the phone and he bought it.
Okay, so he's talking with somebody who knows what they're doing, I guess, so that's why he's calling them. He's getting a lifeline. And then he pays you the $1,400. Can I see the paperwork from the transaction?
Yeah, sure. I got
Okay. Now, part of your defense is that all over the store you have no returns, no refunds, no guarantees.
No.
And on your paperwork you have no returns, no refunds, no guarantees.
But it says Gibson Les Paul guitar, which is a trademark item. This is not a Gibson guitar.
In the description you say Gibson Les Paul electric guitar, serial number X.
Yeah,
It'd be better for you if you just said guitar on the receipt, because he's already buying it. If you just put guitar. But so why do you list it as a Gibson Les Paul electric guitar? Because that's what the thing said?
Yeah, because it have the same serial number that you see on the receipt and the same model number.
All right, now here's what's happening, okay? You bought something at a pawn shop at an incredibly reduced price where the pawn shop says all over the place, no guarantees, no refunds, whatever, and you want a refund and a guarantee that it's legitimate. I got that. You're saying, what are you, crazy, Judge? Look at this. He's coming to a pawn shop. No offense. He's coming to a pawn shop where it came in because somebody was desperate for money to pay a bill. All right, and we don't have paperwork on it, and we say no guarantees, no warranties, no refunds, no exchanges, whatever. And he's on notice. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to get a good deal. He's negotiating, calling people, and he assumes the risk, Judge, that the good deal was for him and not for us. He assumes that risk. We didn't know that something would turn out to be wrong. Okay, I understand both your positions. But before I get to which position I buy, I got to see some proof that that's not what it says it is.
Okay, I don't have a screwdriver to do.
Okay, I don't want a screwdriver. I want a legitimate expert opinion by an expert who looked at it, who concluded that it was a fake. And you apparently have a friend within your power who you could have gotten that from. And you didn't bring that to court?
I didn't.
I mean, but you didn't think that might come up, whether it's a fake or not would be important?
It's fake. I saw it. It's not the real thing. It's not like this. And it's also a Gibson on the truss rod that keeps the neck straight. Gibson has their own patented wrench, a 5-sided wrench. This came with an Allen wrench, which the Chinese clones have.
Wait, how come, if you were doing so much research on it before you came back a second or third time to buy it, why didn't you know all this stuff beforehand?
First of all,
you have a friend who owns a music store and you don't know, you didn't ask him all these questions?
The third time I went back there. The second time
I think you were afraid your friend who owns a music store might buy it out from under you.
No.
No? That's why you didn't want to. I mean, look, I get it. You've got a piece of paper. It says it's something and it should be something. I understand your position. But why aren't they right that it's all over the place? No guarantees, no refunds, no exchanges. And why isn't it just a buyer beware situation?
I would just like to get my money back. I mean, I tried to go back to them. I took it back to them. I took the police there, and they told me it goes. Got to go.
Civil matter.
Yeah,
police
civil
told
matter,
you, right?
right?
They're my police, right? Miami police.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a civil matter.
Yeah.
We've got like real crimes that we got to look at, that kind of thing, you know. All right, court's in recess.
Okay, so It's not a Les Paul guitar, apparently. Is it tough luck for the plaintiff?
It's tough luck. It's tough luck. You just have to get, I don't know.
Okay, well, you're saying, why is it tough luck? I mean, it's not what he thought it was.
How
about somebody who has an opinion here? Gonna go in the back.
Yeah, there's no guarantees. Buyers beware. You're in a pawn shop. It's on you.
Like they say in Texas, the fair only comes around once a year.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
So other than your flapping gums, you have absolutely nothing to prove to me that it's a fake, correct?
No.
Nothing. That's where our problem lies. I understand that they hand you a receipt that says Gibson Les Paul electric guitar serial number XYZ. That in the future, being that specific, may cause you a problem. All right. I also understand that he went to a pawn shop to get a good deal, studied the thing carefully, but apparently not carefully enough, he says now, okay, in order to get the good deal on you and get a good price and get it cheap, and then with walls that are plastered everywhere that say no exchanges, no refunds, whatever else, and then after he gambles, because that was an incredible gamble, then wants to erase his gamble. I understand that. I don't even get to either of these positions until I see step one, which is proof that it's not what it says it is. You have brought me zero, and the guy's a friend of yours, so it's inexplicable to me why you would file the lawsuit, much less come to court, without having this is done every day in court. People have an expert opinion in writing. They just say, look, Judge, I had an expert, two experts look at it, it's a fake, this is why it's a fake, because this is how they use it. You expect me to figure out if it's a fake on my own without an expert opinion? You couldn't even figure it out on your own after 2 to 3 visits over there. I can't do that for you. Verdict for the defendant.
All right, just hold on right there, please, guys.
Well, guitar guy's out here with his guitar. That's congratulations. You bought it now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, why didn't you do more research before you laid the money down?
I thought it was real Gibson.
Yeah. Well, you found out later about the Allen wrench stuff, and you didn't know that beforehand?
No, I didn't know. I couldn't take the guitar out of the store.
All right, what are you going to do with the guitar?
I don't know.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, so you feel like you stuck the man with a fake?
Well, we got everything. We have the proof. We believe the guitar is original.
If, let's say it is original, why would he be suing you?
Because he wants money back too, and we want to stay with the guitar too.
Well, if you got the money back, you would get the guitar back.
Both money and guitar.
No, if he won, you would get the guitar back. Harvey?
The thing is, I think if the plaintiff could prove that it wasn't a Les Paul Gibson guitar, he might be able to get his money back, but here the bottom line is he couldn't prove his case. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.